start this evening with a few deep breaths. Right, I was sharing with those of you who popped on early that it took me about a full week to decide if I wanted to host these, just because I was feeling so overwhelmed. I wasn't sure if I could take on something else, and so I kind of got the feeling that if I was feeling overwhelmed, other people might be feeling overwhelmed too. So I just hope that we can come together tonight to share a little bit in community and take some time to breathe and rest. So in your child's pose, go ahead and kind of stay there. Maybe take your hands off to the right hand side of your mat. Continue to take nice deep breaths. And I want you to set an intention for the next hour that we're together tonight. And by that intention, I mean, what do you hope to gain from this practice? What do you hope to get out of this practice? Let's take our hands over to the left. And this doesn't have to be anything huge, right? It can just be, I want to deepen my breath. I want to let go of some of the stress I've been feeling in the last couple of weeks. I want to relax and let go. Maybe you want to prepare yourself for a good night's sleep. And we'll come back to center a couple more breaths in our child's pose, and this is a posture that's available to you at any point throughout the class tonight. So if you get to a point where you just need a rest or a break, being together like this in child's pose, just breathing, offers you just as much as any of the other physical postures that we'll be exploring together. And when we're ready, we're going to come up to our hands and knees. Let's just start with a few gentle cat-cows. And so if you haven't already, begin to deepen your breath and start to match your breath to your movement. So in our cat-cow, we're going to inhale, drop your belly. And exhale, round through the spine, pressing through the hands, pressing through the knees and the feet. A few more rounds. Breath to movement here. Inhale. And exhale, rounding through the spine. Sometimes it's nice with these first few postures to keep your eyes closed. Just kind of tune into how your body is feeling, how your muscles feel. We'll go one more round of that cat-cow. Inhale and exhale. And from that cat-cow, take your hands just a couple inches further forward, tuck your toes under, and start to make nice big circles with your hips. So take the hips down and around to the right, as slow as you'd like to go, following that nice deep inhale, breath, exhale as you come back through that circle. 2 more times over to the right. And then you'll pause and start that circle the other way. And continuing to match that breath to our movement, letting our breath guide us. So often in times of stress, we may find that we aren't breathing as deeply, or we notice ourselves holding our breath. So make this a time where you intentionally fill up your lungs and exhale that breath fully out of the body. And find some stillness now in your tabletop position with your wrists directly under your shoulders, your knees under your hips. We're going to take our right leg back and our left arm forward and just hold here in this balanced posture. Reaching your right heel behind you, your left hand out in front. 1 or 2 more breaths. And then reach just a little bit further with that arm and leg. Exhale, round in, elbow to knee, or option to just tap on your mat. But on an inhale, you're going to reach out. Exhale, bringing it in, elbow to knee, or tapping that mat. We'll do that 3 more times. Inhale, reach. Exhale, elbow to knee. Nice, twice more. And last one. And hold for 1 breath as you press that elbow into your knee. And then relax, changing sides. Left leg comes back. The right arm comes forward. Holding here for about 3 breaths. Challenging our balance, working on our core strength. Pressing through the left heel. Reaching through the right fingertips. On your next inhale, reach a little bit further. Exhale, rounding in, elbow to knee. We'll do this 5 times. Inhale and exhale. on this last one as you bring in the elbow to knee, hold, pressing elbow to knee, one extra breath, and then relaxing here. Any little movements that you need, maybe shifting your hips side to side, just get a nice little stretch. And then we're gonna find our first downward facing dog. In our downward facing dog, tuck your toes, lift your hips, pressing back through the hands and the feet, trying to evenly distribute the weight in your hands and your feet. And don't feel like your legs need to be straight, the knees can be bent. And maybe pedaling out the feet, sending your right heel down to the mat and then your left heel down to the mat. Very nice. Spend a couple more breaths here in this first downward facing dog. You might feel a little bit stiff in this first one. Don't worry, you'll loosen up a bit. And then with your next inhale, come high on your toes, bend your knees. You're going to walk your feet toward your hands at the top of your mat. And then hang out in this ragdoll pose where we grab our opposite elbows. Let your head hang nice and long. And then your upper body can gently sway side to side. Bend your knees as much as you need to. If it feels good, bend your knees a little bit more. Again, we're just getting into these first few deeper stretches, so allow your body some time to unwind. And then releasing your hands down to the mat, take a nice deep breath in, and as you exhale, rolling up slowly, one vertebrae at a time. And as you come up, you're going to inhale, taking your arms up above your head, grab onto your right wrist, exhale off to the left. As you inhale up, changing sides, exhale off to the right. And when I face the camera, I'm going to do my best to mirror you guys so I know I'm saying opposite of what I'm actually doing. Come up to center, exhale, arc off to the left. Nice side body stretch, inhale up, exhale over. One more time, then when we come off to the left this time, we're going to hold for 3 breaths. With each inhale, you're going to lengthen just a little bit more through that side body, and exhale, coming over to that side, just maybe an inch or 2 more. Just those subtle differences as you deepen the stretch with that breath. And after that third exhale, inhale coming back to center, exhale off to the right. 3 breaths here. Inhale, lengthen through that side body. Exhale, a little bit deeper here. Inhale back to center. Interlace your hands and then place them right behind your head. And from here, you're gonna tuck your hips slightly and then arc through the spine, open up at your elbows. Close your eyes, take 3 nice deep breaths. Very nice. As you inhale, release the hands. Exhale, forward fold all the way down to your mat. Inhale, halfway lift with that flat back. Hands can be on the floor or on your shins. Exhale, hands back down to the mat, stepping back to a plank pose. Now this is where you have the option to modify either staying in that full push-up position or coming down to knees. We're going to inhale here, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, press upward facing dog, and again, your thighs can either stay on the mat or press through the tops of your feet to lift your knees off of the mat. We're going to stay here 2 more breaths. Just get a nice full stretch for the front side of our bodies. 1 more inhale. As you exhale, roll over your toes and you'll find yourself back in that downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Last breath. And as you inhale, come high on your toes again, looking forward towards your hands, stepping or maybe hopping forward towards the top of your mat. Let's find that ragdoll pose once again. 3 breaths here.
release your hands down to the mat. Inhale at the bottom, exhale, rolling up slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Let that slow stretch for the spine. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, open up at the elbows, send that chest and heart toward the sky once again. And then slowly let your hands come down towards your sides. And you're going to reach behind you, interlace your fingers behind you, and pull away. So option here, if you have a towel or a sock or a yoga strap, whatever you have, you can either be grabbing your hands together, or you can use a strap if your shoulders and chest need a little bit more length. But once you have your hands secured behind you, I just want you to tuck your hips once again and pull those hands away from your low back, taking a few breaths just to feel that stretch through your chest and shoulders. One more inhale as you exhale, forward fold, sending your arms up over your head. And then releasing those hands, and this is where a block is an option if you'd like. So you can have a block, placing it right next to your right foot. I want you to bend your right knee, place your hand on the floor or on a block, and open up that left arm. So you've got your right hand down, your left hand up. Gaze can be up at your left fingertips or down at your right hand. That's up to you, whatever feels best on your spine, on your neck. Got one more breath here. And as you exhale, release, hand comes down. If you have the block, move it over to the left foot. Bend the left knee. Open up the right arm toward the sky. Gaze is at the fingertips or down at the mat. Last breath. As you exhale, release. You can set that block off to the side. You're going to leave your right foot forward, take that left foot back, both hands on the inside of that right foot. And actually, if you've got the block and you want to use it, you can use that block to kind of elevate your hands here, just depending on the openness of your hips or just how flexible you might be feeling this evening. Completely up to you. Other option to also take that back knee down. Again, this is whatever you need tonight. So we'll take one or two more breaths in this deep runner's lunge. With your next exhale, lower that knee down. Inhale, take your arms up to the sky. Tuck your hips under slightly, open up at the elbows, widen through the chest and shoulders. And then on your next exhale, you're going to twist. So take that right arm back, take your left hand on the outside of the right knee, and then release that left hand. So right hand reaches back, left hand reaches forward. Right hand's going to wrap around, reach for either your lower back or your left hip. Left arm is going to reach up and back. One more inhale here. As you exhale, just bring that left hand down to the floor. Option to come into a full lunge, and that right hand's going to come up to the sky. If you prefer, you can leave that left knee down for more of a gentle stretch just for the spine. Your back leg is engaged, you're going to get the legs a little bit more activated in this posture. One more breath here, and as you exhale, release your right hand down to the mat, step that left foot forward and that right foot back, and we're going to do that same thing on the other side. So taking your time, once again, the blocks are available for you, or if you've got, I don't know, a nice pillow that can prop you up, get creative if you need some props that aren't available. So either staying here or perhaps taking that right knee down, whatever you did on the opposite side. Wherever you are, one or two more breaths. And then lowering the right knee down. Inhale, taking your arms up, tucking the hips under slightly, opening up at the elbows, gaze is up, shoulders relaxed away from your ears. And then on your exhale, you're going to twist, taking that left hand back, take your right hand to the outside of the left knee. And that right hand just kind of helps twist you a little bit deeper, and then when you're ready, you can release the right hand. So you're reaching one hand forward and one hand back. Left hand's going to reach around for the right hip. Right hand is going to come up and back, reaching behind you. One more breath here, and then as you exhale, place that right hand down on the inside of the left foot. Left arm is going to come up, either staying kneeling or fully extend that leg for a nice deep lunge twist here. One more inhale. As you exhale, place that left hand down right next to that forward leg. Step that right foot forward. Take the legs nice and wide, and then grab opposite elbows. Once again, bend your knees. Sway softly side to side. And from here, we'll release our hands. Inhale, lift halfway. Flat back, hands either on the shins or on your mat. And you'll step back once again to that push-up position. Option here to drop to your knees. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Stay an extra breath or two. And then exhale, downward facing dog. With your next breath in, leave that left foot down. Right foot's going to come up to the sky. Exhale, bring your right foot all the way in between your hands. You're going to drop that back heel coming up to our warrior one. When you're ready, arms are going to come up. So in our warrior one, our hips are square, shoulders are square, arms are up to the sky, just like this. Yep, very nice. Taking a couple more breaths here. We're going to exhale, open up at the elbows, tuck the hips. Lots of heart opening today, just softening through the chest, deepening the breath. One more breath in our warrior one. Exhale, release your hands down around that right foot. Step your right foot back to your plank. Again, option I'm taking these days with my pregnant belly to come down to my knees, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. One more breath here, and then we're going to move into that warrior one on the opposite side. Right foot stays. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, left foot comes in between your hands, again dropping the back heel. Hips are square, shoulders are square, warrior one on that left side. As you settle into your lunge, tuck the hips slightly, open up at the elbows, open the heart, soften through the chest and shoulders. One more breath. Inhale and exhale, release your hands. And this time we'll step that left foot back and then lower down, two hands and knees. From here, take your left hand, you're going to reach under that right arm and then reach up. Reach under the right arm and reaching up. Nice. A few more times just like that. Really pressing through that right hand, see how much chest opening that you can get. And then on this next exhale, I want you to take your left hand, thread it all the way under that right arm, lay your left ear down on the mat, and then take that right hand and reach it out in front of you on the mat. And settle in here for 3 more breaths. And then bring that right hand right next to your face. You can press yourself up Unwind that left arm, reach up, and then place that left arm down. We're going to do that same thing on the other side. So taking the right arm under and the right arm up. Nice. Taking it under and up 3 more times like that. Great stretch for your mid and upper back, especially for those of us who are working from home, sitting at a computer a lot. And then one more time. Inhale, take the right arm up. Right arm comes all the way under the left arm. Lay that right ear down, and then reach that left arm out in front. Last breath, and then take that left hand next to your face. Once again, press yourself back up, reach the right arm to the sky. And then you'll be back in that tabletop position, hands and knees. Let's do a few rounds once again of cat-cow. Always feels good. Inhale, dropping your belly. Exhale, rounding your spine. Nice. Coming into tabletop with a flat back. Tuck your toes, lift your hips once again. Find your downward facing dog. This time we're going to move through Warrior 2 and a couple other Warrior series. Nice and slow. Inhale, take the right leg up. Exhale, right foot in between your hands. Drop the back heel. This time though, your hips are going to stay open. Coming into that Warrior 2. 5 breaths here. So I found that slow doesn't always mean easier, right? Because when we're flowing quickly, our muscles get to move and release. Whereas slow flow, for me, can sometimes be a little bit harder. So if you're finding that, you can go ahead and straighten that leg and come back into the lunge. Again, don't feel like you have to force staying in the pose. One more breath. As you exhale, extended side angle. Right elbow to right knee, left arm comes up and over your ear. See if you can really open up your chest, stack your shoulders one on top of the other, stay nice and deep in your lunge. Gaze is either up at the sky or down at your mat. An option here to straighten the leg. I kind of need to, or you can stay in that lunge if you've got legs of steel here, but then we're going to come back into our reverse warrior, exalted warrior, staying in the lunge, but taking our right arm up and back. Left arm is either wrapped behind you or down that left leg. Nice, one more breath. And then we're going to straighten that leg. Turn the right toes in toward the left. So you got your toes in, your legs are nice and wide on the mat, arms are reaching out. Inhaling here, exhale, send your hips behind you. Keep your arms reaching parallel until you can't reach any further with those hips, and then you're going to allow that forward fold, that wide leg forward fold, and allow your hands to rest on the mat, or if you have your blocks right underneath you. It's a great time for a prop here as well. I'm going to take both hands when you're ready, or feel free to stay in the middle, but you can take both hands, reach them off over to the left side. And just like when we're in our forward folds, play around with if you want a little bit of a knee bend. Careful not to lock out our legs or feel like you have to force straight legs in any way. Find what's comfortable for you, and then walk your hands when you're ready off to the right. And as you come around, you're going to bring your right toes around and your left leg around slightly so that your hips are square with the top of the mat and both legs are straight. I'm going to bring a block. Actually, I've got them here, so I'm going to grab 2 blocks and set them up so that it's a little more comfortable for me here, but we've got head to knee or pyramid pose. Both legs are straight, hips are square, shoulders are square. Getting a nice stretch over that forward right leg. Two more breaths here. Nice. And then setting the blocks to the side. If you were using them, hands on either side of that right leg. Step that right foot back to meet the left. Inhale here. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Setting up for that same warrior series on the other side. Couple more breaths in downward facing dog. And anytime we're in downward facing dog, by the way, feel free to take child's pose instead, if that's what you need more. And that pause in between postures, that's totally up to you. So from here, when you're ready, left leg is going to come up. And forward in between your hands, drop that back heel. Again, hips are going to stay open. So I'm going to turn myself the other way so you can see me a little bit better. I can see you. Nice. So hips are open, hands are reaching. Take a peek down at that forward left knee. Make sure that your knee is tracking right over your toe, that you don't have the knee collapsing in. We see that a lot. So just take care to make sure your joints are stacked, keeping those knees nice and safe. One more breath in this warrior two. And then we'll take extended side angle. Left elbow, left knee, right arm up and over your right ear. Last breath. And then once again, if you need that straightening of that left leg, I'm going to take it. Otherwise, we're going to come into our exalted warrior, keeping that lunge, taking that left arm up and back. Right arm reaches down or around. And this time, as you straighten your leg, once again, take the left toes, point them in toward the right. And we're going to take our hands and bind them behind our back once again. So if you used a strap or a sock last time, if that felt good to you, doing that again. Otherwise, hands are bound behind you. Inhale, pulling your fists away. Exhale, forward fold. Bound, wide leg, forward bend. Releasing your hands whenever you like. We'll stay here for another few breaths. Let's keep our right hand down right below our face. And again, if you have a blocker using some props, you might want it here. So right hand is down, left arm is up. Bend your knees just a little bit. Try to keep your hips nice and square. Look up at those fingertips or down at the mat. Exhale, release. Inhale, open up the right side. And exhale, release. Now we're going to start to walk our hands back toward the front of our mat. So left toes are pointing forward. You might need to step that right leg around slightly so that both legs are straight, hips are square. And if you used a block last time, you might want it here. Pyramid pose or head to knee pose. Getting a nice deep stretch through that forward left leg. About 5 breaths here. And after that fifth exhale, placing the block to the side, hands on either side of that forward foot, stepping back to your plank. Inhale here, exhale chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And from here, start to walk your hands back toward the back of your mat, toward your feet. And once you get there, grab opposite elbows, ragdoll pose. And release your hands. Inhale here, exhale, rolling up. So you're at the back of your mat now. Inhale, taking your arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. Let's take a moment with our thumbs right at heart center. Close our eyes, bow your chin to your chest. And just check back in with whatever the intention was that you set at the beginning of class. For me, I just wanted to focus on some light, on some good, offer some peace and healing to people, so I hope you're getting that out of the class this evening. But what was it for you? If you've lost your intention, just come right back to it. Remind yourself of that breath. Just maybe wanting to receive. Maybe you crave some stillness amongst the chaos. Give yourself permission for that as you continue the rest of your practice tonight. And with your next inhale, opening up the eyes, taking your arms up toward the sky. Exhale, arms come nice and wide, swan dive down toward your mat. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold and walk your hands all the way back out to that push-up position, plank pose. Maybe it's knees are down. Inhale here. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. From here, inhale the right leg up. Exhale, right foot in between your hands, coming up to that crescent lunge. So you're on your back toes. Forward knee is bent. We're going to inhale here, exhale, leaning our chest forward, sending our arms back. Inhale, arms are up. Exhale, arms come back, chest is forward. One more time, inhale here. Exhale, arms come back. Stay for one more breath. With your next inhale, you're going to balance on that forward leg, taking your left knee bent up to the sky and holding here. Maybe hands come to heart center. Holding here for 3, 2, and 1. Send that left leg back into that crescent lunge. Arms come up. Nice job. One more inhale. As you exhale, release your hands down around that forward foot. Option to come down on the back knee or keep that left hand down, right arm comes up for a twist. Exhale, we're going to bring that right hand down. So again, your back knee can be down here, or you're going to drop that heel. Maybe you've got a block on the inside of the right foot. Left arm is going to come up to the sky. Reach that left arm up and over your head. Nice deep stretch from that left heel to the left fingertips. And then releasing that right hand down. Step that right foot back to meet the left. Let's take child's pose, a few breaths to break in between sides. With your next inhale, rocking up into tabletop. These breaks never seem long enough, at least when I'm taking class, so I apologize for that. You're hoping for a few more breaths. Let's come back to our downward facing dog. Inhale that left leg up. Exhale, left foot in between your hands, finding that crescent lunge. So on your toes in the back, always an option though to take that back knee down. Anytime we're in a lunge pose, feel free to give your legs a little bit of a break. Inhaling here, exhale. Diving forward, taking those hands behind you. Inhale here. Exhale, sending the hands back, chest forward. One more time, inhale. And exhale. And on your inhale, balance coming up here, balancing on that left leg, sending that right knee up, so that right knee is bent. Hands come to heart center. And holding here for 3, 2, and 1. Send that left leg behind you, back to that crescent lunge, awesome. And arms will re-extend. One more inhale. As you exhale, taking those hands down around that forward leg. Option to have that back knee down. We're gonna come into that twist. Left arm up, right arm down. Releasing with the exhale. Again, hand comes to the inside of the left foot. Back knee can be down or up. Maybe you've got a block here. Dropping the back heel, opening up that right arm to the sky. Nice, and releasing with your next exhale. Stepping that left foot back. Inhale here. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Downward facing dog or child's pose. With your next breath in, inhale high on your toes, exhale, bend your knees. Stepping forward to the top of your mat. Nice deep forward fold, maybe grabbing opposite elbows again. Releasing your hands, inhale. Exhale, rolling up slowly. Inhale, taking your arms up above your head once again. Exhale, left arm down, right arm up and over your ear. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, opposite side. One more time here, inhale up. Exhale. Left arm down, right arm up and over. Inhale up. Exhale. Nice. Inhale up, exhale, hands to heart. And at the top of your mat, I'm going to grab my block, make sure it's handy. I'm going to move into our triangle pose series here. Last few standing postures before taking it down to our mat. So if you have a block or you know you might want to use one, place that block right at the top of your mat. We're going to step our right foot right next to the block if you're using it, hands on your hips. Step that left foot back so your heels are in line and your hips are open. Then we're going to take our arms out to the sides here, inhale. And as you exhale, reach your right fingertips forward and your left hip back. And then start to send that right hand down to that block or to the floor on the inside of the right foot. Left hand is up. I'm going to raise my block just a little bit here. And see if you can stack your shoulders, stack your hips. And let's start to circle out that top arm. So sending that arm in a clockwise motion and a nice stretch through the side body on the left. One more circle for the arm, and then reverse that circle the other way. With your next inhale, reverse that triangle. So taking your right arm up and back, left hand can come down, or it can wrap around that right hip. And let's square our hips, bringing both hands to heart center. I'm going to step myself back just so everybody can see me here. But last balancing pose, for me this is just one of just such strength and determination. Warrior 3, so you're going to put a little soft bend in that forward right leg, hinging from the hips, sending that left leg back. You can keep your hands at heart center. You can take those arms out behind you. If you're feeling adventurous, maybe the hands come out in front. One or two more breaths coming out of this pose when you feel control. And then standing at the top of your mat, shaking out your legs. I'm going to flip myself around once again, but staying where you are. We're going to take that same short sequence on the other side. So hands on your hips, left foot stays forward, right foot comes back, heels are in line. Opening up the hips, arms are out parallel to the floor. Inhale here, exhale, sending that left hand forward, right hip back, and then left hand down to the floor or onto your block. Stacking the hips, stacking the shoulders. One or two more breaths here. And with that next inhale, we're going to reverse that triangle, keeping the straight legs, but sending that left arm up and back behind you. Nice, and coming back to center, hands to heart. Start to square those hips, getting ready for our warrior 3 on the other side. Taking a small bend in that left knee, hinging from the hips, lifting that right leg off of the earth. Slowly using your breath to really control that balance. A lot of times we want to rush into these balance poses and kind of dump ourselves in, when the key and secret is taking it nice and slow. And then however you had your hands on the opposite side. One or two more breaths, and when you're ready, coming out of that balance, shaking out the legs. Nice job. All right, let's get ready for our last vinyasa here. So inhale, arms down, out and up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhale, plant your hands, stepping back. Option to take the knees down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And we'll find a pigeon pose on each side. So first we'll come into full pigeon. You're going to take that right leg up, and then right knee to right wrist, right ankle to left wrist, and then settling in to our pigeon pose, coming down when you're comfortable. If this is really not the pose for you, feel free to take reclined pigeon. So in reclined pigeon, you'll be on your back, right ankle over left knee. It targets that same area of the body. Okay, so I'm going to come into full pigeon just because being on my back these days is really not all that comfortable. It's more comfortable here. So whichever expression of pigeon is more comfortable for you, will be here about 5 breaths on each side. And when you're ready, coming up, straightening the arms if you're in that full pigeon pose. Get a nice little back bend before you change sides. And then pressing out of that pigeon. If you'd like to take that right leg up and open, Kind of open up the hips after that pigeon pose. I can feel nice circling out your ankle. And then changing sides, left knee to left wrist, left ankle to right wrist. Take a little back bend as you prepare for that posture. Exhale, coming down into your pose, or of course if you're taking that pigeon on your back, changing sides now. Pressing up out of that pigeon, small back bend, and then unwinding from the pigeon the same way as you did on the other side. So if you took that left leg up and open, do that now. And then from here, you're going to lower down to your mat, come to that seated position, and we're going to come into a seated butterfly. So from here, your feet are together, your knees are wide. A couple options with your props. Okay, so you can have your blocks on the outside of your thighs. You can, if that is more comfortable for you, you can also have the blocks in front of you to help you kind of reach out and get a nice deep stretch for your hips, whatever is going to feel good for you. But first, before we come into a deeper stretch, let's grab onto our shins and take this opportunity to just sit nice and tall. Take a few nice deep breaths, nice tall spine. And then using your upper body to pull you a little deeper into that stretch. And then from here, reaching forward, whether it's on the blocks or just on the floor. Bowing our head, relaxing through the neck. Let's reach the arms over to the right, pressing back through our left hip as we reach. And changing sides, reaching off to the left, staying anchored in our right hip. As you come back to center, walk yourself back up. Let's keep our left foot in, right foot is going to come out. Turn your torso over that extended leg, take a nice deep breath in, and then as you exhale, forward fold, coming down. You can have your blocks here. You can have a towel or a sock. Sometimes it helps to put a strap or something around that foot to kind of help you into that stretch. It all depends on how your muscles are feeling today. But let's exhale into that stretch for that right leg. When you're ready, changing sides, walking the hands back up. Extending that left leg, bringing the right foot in, turn your torso over that extended leg. Inhale, nice and tall in the spine. Exhale, forward fold over that left leg. 5 breaths here. Yourself back up to center, and from here we're going to start to lower ourselves onto our mat. But
Let's take both legs out in front. Sit up nice and tall in the spine. Extend the arms out in front. Inhale here, and as you exhale, you're going to lower down to your mat, one vertebra at a time, slowly. Slowly challenging the abdominals. I'm going to help myself a little bit with my arms. And come all the way down, flat onto your back. And then right away, bend your knees. And prepare for a bridge pose. And you're going to press through your heels, squeeze the backs of your legs, lift your hips. 5 breaths in this bridge pose here. Nice and slowly coming down. You're going to draw your knees into your chest and just start to sway gently side to side. I'm going to set myself up with some extra props just for the remainder of our time together tonight. If you have a bolster and stuff, great. I'm really doing this more for my belly and the baby more than anything else, so definitely not required. But as you have your knees into your chest, just draw them in, get a nice stretch through your lower back, and then you're going to draw your right knee in and let your left leg come nice and long. Start to circle out that right ankle, taking the ankle clockwise and then counterclockwise. Now let's change sides. Draw the left knee in, straighten the right leg, and circling out the ankle. Then reverse the direction of that circle. Let's draw both knees in now, coming into Happy Baby. So in Happy Baby, your knees are drawn in. And picture this, you're on a flat back, so it looks a little bit different, but your hands are on the outside edges of your feet. If that's a little bit too much, you can grab the outside edges of your calves or shins, or even just pulling the knees into your chest. Give you a really nice stretch through your hips. So just finding whatever modification feels the best for you tonight. If you have this full expression of Happy Baby, I want you to gently pull on the outside edges of your feet as you press your heels. So you've got this kind of push-pull with your hands and your feet. I'm trying to relax your chest and shoulders. Check in with the muscles of your face as well. Just kind of relaxing through your cheeks and your jaw. Nice. And then slowly coming in, drawing your knees into your chest. Then you're going to take a gentle twist off to the right. So there's so many variations of a twist, so if you've got your favorite, feel free to take it. Otherwise, you're going to stack both knees one on top of the other in kind of a 90 degrees with the knees and hips, and then arms are open. Your gaze is wherever your head and neck feels most comfortable. So if it's comfortable, your knees are to the right, turning your head off to the left, and your arms are nice and open. Change sides, so walking those feet back to center, or draw your knees back up into your chest, and then drop both knees off to the left. Again, come 90 at the hips, 90 at the knees if you can, and then opening up the arms. Knees are to the left, so if there's no pain in your neck or anywhere else, gaze is to the right.
to center. From here, I invite you to take any final postures that you prefer. So some of you might already know exactly what you like to do at the end of your practice. Others of you maybe just draw your knees into your chest and rocking side to side, giving that lower back another nice gentle stretch. So from here we're going to be moving into our Shavasana. So sometimes it feels good to come into a reclined butterfly with your feet together and your knees wide just for a moment or two. But really we're making our way into that final resting pose, starting to release any control over your breath that you may have had throughout practice. So allowing that breath to move freely in and out through your nose or mouth. And then when you're ready, your legs are going to reach nice and long. If there's any pressure or discomfort in your lower back, though, feel free to keep your knees bent. Really, the Shavasana is about your comfort and your time to just rest and receive. Taking a scan of your body from head to toe. Starting at the crown of the head, moving through the face, neck and shoulders, and anywhere you come across any muscle tension. With your exhale, just release, let the muscles go. Moving down through the front of your chest, your arms, all the way through your fingertips. Releasing the abdominals, feeling the hips heavy on your mat. Releasing the fronts and backs of your legs, all the way down through the soles of your feet. Maybe your feet relax and roll open gently. And enjoy this final resting posture, your Shavasana. With your next breath, start to gently move your fingers and your toes. Maybe take your arms up above your head. Take a nice deep full body stretch. Take a nice deep inhale through the nose and out through the mouth. One or two nice breaths like that. Inhale through the nose, exhale through your mouth. Just letting that full exhale go. One more time. And then rolling off to your right or your left side. And as you roll off to that right or left hand side, just resting your head on an arm or the crook of your elbow. And then when you're ready, coming up into seated meditation or just any comfortable seated posture, we'll close out our practice together. So once you're up in that seated position, just opening up the palms, bowing your chin to your chest, leaving your eyes closed for another couple of moments together. One of the best things about this practice is that it is always accessible.
not just the physical postures, but the breath. Sitting with the breath, even in just child's pose, bowing, surrendering to anything that we're feeling, opening ourselves up to light, to healing, to peace. All we have to do is ask for it. So I thank everyone for choosing to come and join in this virtual session together. I wasn't sure what to expect. I hope you got what you came for, or just a little piece of what you were hoping for tonight. I hope to continue this practice as we're meant to be communal people. We're meant to spend time to move our bodies together. And if this is the best we can do for now, I hope to be able to continue to offer that. So just remember, throughout the week, you may not have a full practice open to you, but if you're feeling the weight of everything you have going on, and we've all got different things, but if you're ever feeling the weight, sometimes even just taking a moment or two out to breathe, to place your hands on your heart, to bow your chin to your chest, connect to that breath, and just ask for that peace, for that comfort, for that calm, whatever it is that you need. Just don't forget to ask, right? And don't forget to give yourself permission to seek those things. A lot of us are doing things for other people right now. And I encourage you, if you have a gift, if you have something to share, please share it. We're all in need right now of connecting and of receiving different things. So don't forget that you have so many things that you can give to others, but also give yourself permission to receive. So thank you for choosing to spend an evening together like this, and we'll see you next time. Namaste.